idea. That's no goddamn test of knowledge.
Nah. Just out of the box questions, man.
Yeah, cryptic.
Yes.
Interesting stuff, though.
I mean, I'm out of news, to be honest.
You're out of news.
Yeah, man.
Is that mainly what you focus on in your podcast?
Well, I mean, news and entertainment and.
Entertainment.
I didn't have.
I can entertain you with stories.
Man. I mean, if you got a story to tell, go ahead, man.
Tell.
I mean,
I was going to tell you about that story at one of my first jobs, didn't I?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, Wix. That was funny.
How so?
Yeah, because it was like, I think I was like 15 or 16.
Mm.
Went to work in Wix, the DIY store, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got there and started the job, and the supervisor was this Irish guy, Paddy. You know, that was his actual name, Paddy. We called him Paddy. And Paddy was a real bastard. Paddy used to make us, because we were all young kids, you know what I mean? And the bricks had to be picked up, the sand, and he'd be like, fucking go over there and pick up those bricks and fucking do this and fucking do that. And all the kids used to run and do that. And I'd never seen that before, obviously. Not working in one of them places before or whatever. So I'd never seen that before. I thought, is this how this guy's talking? He's not going to talk to me like that. So here's me, little skinny teenager.
Oh, you were skinny.
And, oh man, yeah, I was very skinny. And, yeah, so like I say, he's not chatting to me like that. I'm not doing it. He chats to me like that. So yeah, anyway, first time he says to me, go on, fucking pick up those bricks. I turn around and said, fuck you. He goes, what? I said, don't fucking talk to me like that. Yeah, like I couldn't back it up, but I could say it. I said, don't fucking talk to me like that. So anyways, like lunchtime, I get a call to the office, you know. I got to see the big boss now, the manager. So the manager calls me in, I sit in the office, and he goes, I hear you had a problem with Paddy. I said, there's no problem, he just doesn't need to be calling people, you know, effing do this, effing do that, whatever. So he goes, so you do have a problem with Paddy? I says, yeah, Paddy's a cunt. He goes, that's my brother you're talking about. So without even blinking, I said, yeah, he's still a cunt. Because I couldn't take it back now.
Yeah,
it's too late. I have to still stand. And you know what? It was sweet. I didn't get fired or nothing. The job was fine, and you know, Paddy stopped telling me to effing do this and effing do that.
That's true.
And it was all good. You know, it was all right, man. It was all right.
Was it just you that he stopped saying it to, or was it the whole team?
It was just me.
Oh.
Everyone else still can't fucking do this, fucking do that.
Oh, people.
Yeah.
But they didn't stand up for themselves.
Yeah, standard, and I stood up for myself. I thought, no, how can he be chatting to me like that? You know, that's just out of order. You want me to do something, I'll do it, but, you know, there's ways of asking people, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that was interesting as a first job, you know.
So have you always wanted to be an actor then?
Probably since the first time I saw Bruce Lee as a kid. But,
So do you know any martial arts yourself?
yeah, a few. Wing Chun, I studied.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because Bruce Lee studied Wing Chun, so I had to learn Wing Chun. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So, but that wasn't until I was like 13, I was doing Wing Chun, but like before that I had done, I got older cousins and they're all girls.
Yeah.
So I followed them to ballet classes, tap dance classes and acting. Did a few stage shows when I was 8 and probably, about 13 started playing football. And then it was all about football and martial arts, and then an injury in football, and then back to martial arts. And then
It's interesting. You do Wing Chun. Yeah. My friend who done Cannabis Illegal, another film that he wants to do is Stoned Master.
Oh shit, man! I'm down for that.
I think he's looking for people who do Wing Chun. Mm-hmm. So
I can do Drunken Master too.
Yeah, I'll tell him about you. If you know Wing Chun, you'll probably straight in.
Give me a belt, man. Give me a belt.
I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah. So no, I wanted to be an actor from then, but as a kid, like I said, from the first time I saw Bruce Lee, but I know, obviously I didn't know how, and school's not set up to lead you to the arts.
No, not at all.
You know, the arts is like a hobby, you know, anything like stage and drawing or anything like that, it's all a hobby. But, yeah, no, I always wanted to, and then obviously life takes over. 20 odd years later, you know, wife and kids and blah, blah. And then I decided it's time, you know, to just focus on the thing I really want to do.
Was there like a specific thing that made you want to... Like a moment, yeah.
Okay, yeah. My dad passed away about 8 years ago. And I remember, we didn't have the best of relationships, but I do remember seeing a lot of regret. He didn't just die slowly. It was one of those things where, you know, take a long time to die. You're just dying over a year. Yeah, God wants to fuck with you. That's what he does, man. you live long suffering. So anyway, so it was wild, and I saw like lots of regret. And so seeing that, you say to yourself, well, look, you get this one life. There is no point getting to your deathbed and then, you know, having regrets on the end.
Yeah, it's true.
So, you know, and people don't regret what they've done, they regret what they didn't do.
Yeah.
And that's what the regrets I saw anyway. So death teaches us a lesson, you know, and I think around that time I had a bit of a near-death experience myself, actually, motorbike accident.
Oh, shit.
But, you know, it kind of, you wake up differently. I mean, I would recommend a near-death experience for everybody. The only problem is you have to survive that shit. Because if you don't, you're fucked. But you have to survive it. But if you do, I recommend a near-death experience if you can have one. Because you see the world differently. You do see things differently. And where you think there might be an obstacle, like acting. How'd you get into acting? When most of the students that have people have gone into acting, they've gone from a student level from school. But I've already passed school. I can't now go and get a place in Radar and Lambda and... You know, all these different places.
I mean, you could, but then it's just so much. It takes you back.
4 years studying acting.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I've been living experiences. Like I said, I've done many jobs, man. Being a bouncer, being a scientist, being a security, being all sorts of these little shitty jobs, being a salesman and whatnot. And this is all the experience I bring to acting, because it's experience, it's life, it's real. So I've dealt with all kinds of people, man. I've got so many stories like within like all these different jobs, man. It's ridiculous.
Imagine,
So it's just life experience, man. So I knew I couldn't do that. So then I met you at ID.
Exactly.
Part-time course, because that suited me, because I could work in between and do that. And yeah, you know, there was a few moments that I knew I should be acting when those moments happened, because like the universe conspired to put certain people in my path to tell me, yes, you should be doing it. Yeah. So I already got on some like Star Now, one of those websites, you know, where they have little castings and stuff. Yeah. And I joined some background agencies so I could see what a movie set was like, you know, and I would observe the actors if I got on a background role. And I was standing on the door, I think it was 2013, standing on the door, meaning I was bouncing, I was a doorman, and I was standing on the door at a pub in Kentish Town called Hootenanny's, little Irish pub, lovely little pub, you know what I mean? And this guy walks in, like, past me, like, he's like, hey, you know, and he's walking in, and I swear, I was, man, I know that face, man. I was like, yeah, I know that guy. And so I says to him, King in the North. He goes, yeah, man, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, Kit Harington.
Oh, yeah.
So like, yeah, he goes, yeah, man, yeah. And so, anyways, he was like happy because I recognised him, and do you know what I mean? It's like, I think it was only 2 seasons into Game of Thrones, so his character wasn't huge yet. Jon Snow was still, you know. And I think this girl recognised him, and she was like getting all gooey-eyed and stuff, and that was it. Like, no one else knew who he was, sort of thing. Just him and his mates came in. And so, so we ended up chatting on the door for ages, man. We took a couple of pictures with him, and we ended up chatting. And I said to him, listen, I'm getting into this acting game now. I want to take it serious. I've gotten Star Now or whatever, but listen, I need to get into the business of this. What do you think I need to do to really give it a good shot? He goes, have you got an agent? I said, no. He goes, okay, have you had some training? I said, not recently. It's like when I was a kid, you know what I mean? I did stage and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay. So, and then he goes, okay, are you on Spotlight? And I said, no. And he's like, okay, those are the three things you're going to start with, man. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, bro, cool. That's cool, man, that's cool. So, like, basically within a year, I think it was literally the next night, and this is what I mean by the universe conspiring. I think it was like the following night, what was it? No, because that was the weekend. So it must have been the Monday. I rang up Identity Drama School, you know, for a place to see if they had places, whatever. And they said, our last audition is tomorrow night at 9 for this term. So it was like, if I had called the next day, it would have been done, and you've got the last spot. They goes to me. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be there. Man, I didn't have a clue what I was signing up for, what I was going to be doing.
Yeah, they don't really tell you before.
Nah, and, you know, I showed up and went through the audition process, and it was Greta Mendes who
she done my one as
done
well.
it, and it was like, we did all this movement and stuff, and I thought, you know what, man, you know, you can come in here, act stupid, act silly, and it's okay. And, you know, they offered me the place, and I was like, yeah. So now I'm on the course. And so when I say things conspire. And because, like, I didn't come out of drama school, I didn't realise, like, how hard it should be to get on Spotlight, or how hard it should be to get an agent. But anyway, I was on Star Now when I was throwing myself in the deep end while being at ID. And I was landing roles in music videos and commercials and stuff like that. And I applied for agents. And this one agent, you know, there's a bunch of people, and he goes, like, come and see me. And so I came to see this agent, not a great agency, but it was an agency looking for people. Yeah. So I went to it, and for the longest time while being there, so I'll just take it back a bit, for the longest time while being there, is I read a lot of books. And, you know, there were some books that left impressions on me, and I think it's Think and Grow Rich or whatever. I mean, they're deceiving names, like The Science of Getting Rich and Think and Grow Rich. You'd think it's all about money, but it's not. It's about mindset. Yeah. And, you know, I took some things from these books and other books like them, like The Secret and stuff. And
48 Laws of Power is another good one.
Yeah. And what I took from that was, you know, the if you want to be something, and my friend really inspired me because of his story as well, and I'll tell you about it in a minute, but if you want to be something, you have to act like you're that thing already.
Fake it till you make it.
And so that's what I did. I acted like I was an actor already, and so I was able to land that agent, you know, when he interviewed like 400 odd people and only took a couple on. I was one of them. And it's because I acted like I was, you know, an actor. And so I carried myself like an actor, went to ID and did the things I thought, you know, an actor does. You know what I mean? And what I had to observe on background roles and how actors acted, how actors were on set and so on and so forth. So anyways, I pretended for the longest time. And I remember that contract coming through from that agent the next day. I say, oh yeah, we'd love to represent you, blah, blah, blah. And the contract come in and it said, you know, if you sign here for us to represent you as a professional actor on our books. And I just looked at it and I laughed because it said professional actor on our books, and here's me acting as an actor acting. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just laughing. I fooled him. I'm an actor. I still wasn't convinced I was an actor yet. But anyway, but you know what I mean? I wasn't convinced I was an actor yet. But anyway, so, you know, I took him up on his offer, and I got a few auditions and stuff. And then I met another dude from Game of Thrones, and he's a good friend of mine now. His name's Darren Kent. And
Who does he play in Game of Thrones?
He played one really powerful scene, and I remember this scene because it was... you know Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Khaleesi, right?
Yeah.
So the mother of dragons, her dragon had killed a farmer's child.
I do remember this episode, yeah.
Darren Kent was that farmer, and he brought the child in, and it was a really emotional scene, and it was powerful. And I thought, wow, that's deep. And it wasn't even in English; it was in Valyrian or whatever. You know what I mean? But it was really powerful, man. I thought this actor's flipping good, man. And lo and behold, one of the